Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy, Brandy Boy, back at it again with another Fallout 4 video. And for this video, I'm going to be going over my favorite mods from last month, March 2022. As usual, the modding scene is still going strong, and we've got plenty of new awesome mods to try out. There's a few in here which can completely change how you play the game, while others simply add in new armors and weapons to play with. Let's go ahead and jump into the mods. First off, let's start with something truly unique. 20 Leagues Under the Sea, Vault 120. This mod adds in a secret underwater vault. Or it's more like a city really, with towering skyscrapers and business offices, all underwater. Of course, it's heavily inspired by Rapture from the BioShock franchise. Both games have that 50s retro sci-fi aesthetic, so it fits right into Fallout 4. The developers originally planned for Vault 120 to be a part of the vanilla game, and there was also supposed to be a unique quest to go alongside it, but unfortunately, it was cut from the final release, probably due to time constraints. That's too bad really, because it would have made for an awesome area to explore, and I bet it would have been the most memorable vault in all of Fallout. Thankfully, with this mod, we can finally enjoy the beauty of Vault 120. The modder did a fantastic job in imagining their own vault, and it really shows you just how much potential this idea has. It's almost like you could design an entire game around this concept. But anyway, to find the vault, you'll want to start from Nordhagen Beach, then head northeast. You'll see a big bunker there, and inside it will be an elevator, which will lead you 20 leagues down into Vault 120. There's not actually too much to do in the vault. There's no quest or NPCs related to it, besides a couple of hostile ghouls and mirelurks. Basically, your main goal here is to explore and have fun taking in all the beautiful sights. The vault itself isn't too big, but you can certainly get lost in it. There's all types of rooms to explore, such as a diner, private quarters, and even a whole radio station. You'll notice plenty of empty rooms too, which suggests that the vault wasn't fully finished, but you can establish the vault as a settlement and use the workshop to decorate it as you see fit. Although there's no quest, you can make this vault into your own personal home. It definitely makes for quite a prestigious private getaway, with views like no other. So if you're a big fan of BioShock and want a little taste of it here in Fallout 4, then you want to get Vault 120 in your load order. And while you're at it, you might as well also get the Submersible Power Armor mod too, to fully immerse yourself as a big daddy. But you can't stay cooped up in the deep sea forever. You'll have to head back into the harsh, unforgiving Wasteland, eventually. To make the experience truly gruesome, you should try out a mod called MAIM. It's a huge overhaul that affects everything related to health and injuries. Overall, it makes combat a lot more punishing when you take damage. You can't really run and gun and stimpack your way through crowds of enemies. Your injuries will catch up to you soon enough. After all, bullets really hurt, and the aim of MAIM is to make every shot count. Whenever you get hit, you'll start bleeding, and that will sap away at your health bar over time. So you'll definitely want to end the fight quickly and patch yourself up before going any further. The same goes for your enemies. They can bleed out too. So if you get them to low health with a few shots, then you can just hide behind cover and wait for them to bleed out. Another negative effect is pain. Like I said, bullets really hurt. And if you eat too many, you'll suffer debuffs, which vary depending on which limb is injured. For example, an arm injury will decrease your reload speed, and a leg injury will decrease your movement speed and jump height. You'll be able to keep track of all your injuries in real time, thanks to a new HUD element, which displays a color-coded Vault Boy. To remedy all these injuries, you'll have to make use of some of the newly added medical items. There's bandages, surgery kits, splints, tourniquets, and all types of chems to heal you and ease your pain. And yes, they do come with animations, which makes it all the more immersive. You'll be able to find all of these new aid items as loot from enemies and containers, but you can also craft them at the chemistry station if need be. The mod also edits limb damage, so limbs will take way less damage than the torso, but they are still viable targets for causing injuries. Of course, the most vital target to aim for is the head. Headshot damage is now always lethal when not wearing a helmet, and even when you are wearing a helmet, your safety isn't guaranteed. To keep in line with the hardcore nature of this mod, MAIM makes changes to vanilla perks too. The most notable changes are for the Medic and Adamantium Skeleton perks. Your stimpaks won't scale with the Medic perk anymore. Instead, it unlocks the ability to craft aid items. As for the Adamantium Skeleton perk, it was changed to not reduce limb damage. Instead, it reduces fall damage and the weight of your worn armor. As you can tell, this mod makes combat hardcore and realistic. And I really like how it fleshes out and expands upon the injury system that we saw in the vanilla game. If you're looking for a real challenge, then MAIM is definitely one of the best options out there for a hardcore overhaul. Trust me, it's sure to be nothing but a jolly old time. But if you're an absolute masochist, then you might as well download Advanced Needs 76 to make the survival experience even more excruciating. Its goal is to make Fallout 4 feel like a survival simulator, which means it's going to be as painfully realistic as possible. It adds in an absurd amount of new features, which range from basic needs to camping, gathering, crafting, and even combat, most of which are toggleable and customizable. There is a lot included in this mod, so I'll keep it brief by quickly going over the main features. We've got a new and improved basic needs system, which includes the need to eat, drink, sleep, manage your hygiene, and even expend your waste. That's right, everyone. This mod includes immersive pooping. If that isn't immersive, then I don't know what is. You'll also have to keep track of your food and make sure it doesn't spoil. If you do eat bad food, then you'll get food poisoning and throw it up. There is plenty more ways for your character to get sick, with the addition of varied diseases and afflictions. When it comes to gathering, you can now reuse water bottles and fill all your bottles at once when at a water source. Or you can get that sweet, sweet Brahmin milk right from the Brahmin itself. And after that, you can push it over. Another way to obtain food is to go fishing, which is pretty neat because it includes its own little animation. I'll say it again, that is immersive. But if you want a vegan-friendly option, then you can stick to farming, which you can now do all by yourself thanks to this mod. Getting wood out of the wild is now possible with the hatchet tool, and you can use a wrench to dismantle old cars for scrap components. After gathering everything, you don't have to lug it back to a settlement. You can set up a camp in the middle of the wasteland, all for yourself. You'll also want to make sure to craft the Advanced Needs workbench. Here is where you can craft everything related to this mod, which includes chems, tools, and even the option for crafting ammunition. This mod adds in new combat features too, that includes a working disguise mechanic, which you can use to blend in with your enemies. And then, you can sneak up behind them with a stealthy takedown. Now that was super immersive. It also comes with an insta-kill headshot mechanic, along with a wound and bleeding system. I'm pretty sure that's going to conflict with MAIM though, so you'll have to pick which mod to use here. There's even a unique bleeding mechanic for female characters, but I don't know how that works. Anyway, I think I got most of the major stuff right there. If this mod sounds like your cup of coffee, then you ought to delve right in and experience it for yourself. It's quite, an immersive experience, and that's for sure. As we all know by now, the Wasteland is a harsh place, and you're bound to get dinged up, so you ought to protect yourself with some high quality armor. The best option, of course, would be power armor. If you want a brand new shiny set, then you should pick up the Enclave power armor. I don't mean the XO1 or XO2 or even XO3. This one is simply called the Enclave power armor, and I don't know why. If you played Fallout 76 recently, for some odd reason, then you may have noticed that this is where the set is from. I don't know the lore behind it, nor do I care, because I don't plan on playing Fallout 76 anytime soon. What I do know is that this power armor looks freaking sweet. It stays true to the Enclave theme, while still offering a new and refreshing look. As expected, it's menacing and is sure to intimidate your enemies. The Enclave power armor is a unique set, so you'll have to find it stored away in a super top secret Enclave base, which is just north of the Boston airport. All you gotta do is break in through the front door and head inside. You'll find several sets of these power armor pieces, so you've got one for you and a couple for your followers. It's got all of the expected power armor attachments, and quite a few unique paint jobs, but of course, the only acceptable option is the classic all-black Enclave paint. Overall, it's a great set of power armor, and it makes for another fine addition to my ever-growing collection. But if you prefer something lighter, then we've got several new regular armor sets too. The Capital Wasteland Outfit Pack Part 2 adds in tons of classic armors, clothing, and accessories. In total, there's 50 pieces of attire, all of which are expertly recreated from their original designs in Fallout 3. I could list all 50 of them out, but that would be really boring. You can use your eyes to see what it all has to offer. You'll be able to find most of the common outfits in the leveled list, but when it comes to the unique ones, those are stashed away in secret locations. I won't tell you where, not because I don't want to spoil it and ruin the fun, but because I couldn't find them either, so I cheated them in with console commands instead. Anyway, it's an awesome outfit pack, and the quality wasn't sacrificed for the sake of quantity. Every piece is beautifully crafted. For something a little more futuristic, we have the Haven Trooper armor from Metal Gear Solid. It's a pretty cool looking set. It fuses together some modern and futuristic pieces to make for an interesting combo. I never played Metal Gear myself, but I don't have to admire this armor. It looks like it'd be one of those suits that a super soldier would wear, and actually, it will enhance your physicality. Your ability to jump, that is. You'll launch into the air like a frog with this armor on. Is it OP? Maybe, but it sure is fun. It's a special set of armor, so you'll have to craft it yourself at the chem station. And then, you can take it to the workbench to customize it with all sorts of different camos and color schemes. Overall, cool armor. I like it. On to the next one. We can go even further into the future with the Infinite Armory. It adds in a bunch of armors seen in Halo Infinite. There's 4 different types: the crewman outfit, the officer uniform, the combat fatigues, and the marine armor. There's plenty of customizability to go around. You can add on all different types of gear and accessories to enhance your fit. Along with that, you can also change up the color scheme with a few different options. I really like the aesthetic of this armor. It's sharp, clean, stylish, and of course, it'll provide you with plenty of protection. To actually get the armor, you'll have to craft a special terminal in your settlement first. It should be easy enough, but after that, you're good to go, and you can patrol the Wasteland as a badass Commonwealth Spartan. And if you want a weapon to go along with your new armor, then you should pick up the Pulse Carbine. It's inspired by Halo, but it is a unique design suited for Fallout 4. It's got quite an interesting shape, like it almost looks otherworldly, but I do like it. As you can tell, it's supposed to be a weapon made by the Institute, and it definitely looks like something that would belong to them. If I didn't know any better, I'd assume it was a part of the vanilla game. It does use vanilla animations, but they fit right in and don't seem out of place. Everything else is custom, and there's plenty of attachments you can add on. The barrels especially will drastically impact the performance of the weapon, because they will affect the fire rate, damage, range, and even the spread of the projectiles. You can use this weapon as a rifle or even a shotgun, it's all up to you. You'll be able to find it in the leveled list from synths of course, so be careful not to get melted by them. Overall, a pretty neat weapon, and I prefer the aesthetic of this one over the vanilla plasma gun any day. Next up is another gun mod, but not an entirely new one. The Battlefield 4 44 Magnum mod reanimates the Fallout 4 44 revolver with animations from Battlefield 4. Okay, that was a lot of 4s. Anyway, these animations look buttery smooth and they make the revolver feel powerful. The recoil is volatile on this one, but it is controllable, and I find that these animations make the revolver much easier to use, while also looking way better. As you've noticed, it also changes the functionality of the revolver, from single action to double action, so you no longer have to pull the hammer back to fire. I don't know why the vanilla revolver was always stuck in single action in the first place, but this mod gives the 44 revolver the double action functionality that it should have. It also adds in a proper speed loader, so you won't be using those lame moon clips to reload. Overall, a huge improvement. This mod alone makes the revolver so much more enjoyable to use. For an entirely new mod, we'll be taking a trip back into history with the PPS-43. It's a World War II era Russian submachine gun. You may have heard of the PPSH, but the PPS is basically its ugly cousin, because it looks kinda cursed. What can I say? As long as it works, it works. It's a very basic and cost-effective design, so that's the whole reason for it. I could definitely see some Wastelanders replicating their own homemade version of this. And I suppose that's how it works in-game, because you will find it naturally in the leveled list. As you can tell, it's got custom animations too, along with plenty of customizability. You can cut down the barrel, lengthen it, or add on an integral suppressor, change up the stock with several different options, or take it off entirely, and even extend the magazine or rechamber it to use 10mm. You've also got a plethora of modern optics to slap on. Now, it's truly cursed. But in all seriousness, I do like it. The crude aesthetic fits well into the Wasteland, and it makes for a great alternative to those ugly and nasty pipe guns. But for something truly crude, you'll want to get the homemade SMG. Now that is cursed. It's literally a mashup from a bunch of different gun parts seen in the vanilla game. The only custom-made part would be the receiver, and I don't know how effective this would actually be. It looks super rusty, but it just works. It definitely looks like something you'd find off a raider in an apocalyptic wasteland, and that's exactly how you'll find it in the game. It is mostly reused vanilla assets, but it does have custom animations, and they look pretty smooth. It's also got a heap of attachments you can load on. There's several different barrel types, a few options for stocks, a couple different sights, multiple different magazine lengths and conversions to choose from, and for the underbarrel section, you can choose between different accessories. As you can tell, this mod takes the term scrap gun literally. All the attachments look like they were taken right out of a dumpster, and that's absolutely beautiful. Overall, a pretty, interesting looking firearm, and it's a decent option for the early game. In the same vein, we've also got the Makeshift Nailgun from the same author. This cursed little contraption shoots out railroad spikes to nail your enemies with. So it works just like the railway rifle in that sense, but it uses the vanilla pipe gun as a base, with the same animations and overall shape. I really like the concept behind this one, and I'd love to see more air guns like this in the game. It fits perfectly into the Wasteland after all, and you will find it naturally in the leveled list. It's got a lot of interchangeable parts, and it's surprisingly versatile. You can switch between bolt action, semi-auto, and even full auto. You can also upgrade the spikes to be poisoned or barbed for extra damage, and add on even more damage on top of that by infusing the barrel with the power of electricity or fire. I don't know how that works, so I'm just gonna assume it's like a Skyrim enchantment. Overall, it's a neat looking gun. The only thing I don't like is that it uses vanilla animations, and the ammo belt doesn't actually move as you shoot. Literally unplayable. But seriously, it's a very creative concept, and of course, it is pretty dang fun to use. Now that finally wraps up all the ranged weapons, but we do have a mod for all the melee enjoyers out there. The classic melee pack adds in a bunch of melee weapons seen in Fallout 3. There's 11 new unique weapons in total. A kitchen knife, a baseball bat, a golf club, a cattle prod, the Ripper, a big old chainsaw, a Chinese sword, a katana, the shish kebab, and the Nuka Breaker. There's also the Gahana, which is a unique golden shish kebab. Some of these weapons are already present in Fallout 4, but this mod pack offers the classic look. It doesn't replace the ones in Fallout 4. They are added in via the leveled list, so you'll see both. The Nuka Breaker and Gahana are legendaries though, so you'll have to find them out in the Wasteland. There's not any new fancy animations or anything, but I do prefer the classic aesthetic compared to Fallout 4. And if you like that old style too, then you ought to pick up the classic melee pack. Now finally, with this giant arsenal we've got, we are fully prepared to help every single settlement in the Commonwealth. To make the process easier, you should install a mod called Who's the General. It's a very simple change, but funnily enough, it's a fairly popular release because it gets rid of Preston Garvey's nagging. Whenever you go and clear a settlement, the quest will be completed immediately after, so you don't have to walk back to Preston to report your success. You're the general after all, so you're the one who should be reported to. I always disliked that silly logic in the vanilla game, and I'm glad this mod fixes that. If you do want to talk to Preston to get a settlement's location, then you can get there by asking him how he's doing, but it's not necessary at all. You can clear all these settlements by yourself without having to talk to Preston, which is great because talking to him literally gives my character a headache, and I hate his face with a burning passion. But you know whose face I do like? My own character's face, of course, and it looks even better after installing the High Poly Faces Redux mod. On a technical level, what it does is increase the amount of polygons on characters' faces, so it'll look way more smooth and natural. It works for both male and female characters. This mod takes the detail to extreme levels. Just look at how buttery smooth that is. You can't point out a single jagged polygon, no matter how close you get. It's not like vanilla Fallout 4 had terribly low polygons, but this is definitely an improvement. If you're the kind of person who stares at your character's face all the time, then you'll love this mod. After all, if you're going to spend hours customizing your perfect character, then you might as well make every detail as high as quality as possible. And that'll wrap up my top 15 Fallout 4 mods for March. I hope y'all found this video helpful, and I hope you enjoy the mods. If you do, then make sure to endorse the mod authors to show your appreciation. What mods were your favorite from last month? And what kind of mods would you like to see in the future? How many times did dog meat show up in the background of this video? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, then go ahead and eviscerate that like button. If you want to see more content like this, then subscribe and smack that bell icon with all the notifications to keep up to date on the most recent Fallout 4 mods. With all that being said, I'll see y'all in the next video.